As the action just keeps coming, and it's the women's quad A-B semi-final we're going to bring you right now.
Yeah, so China, the Netherlands, Romania, Canada, Italy and France, the Olympic champions, Chen Yuan-Sha, Zhongling, Lu Yang and Trisha Tong in the stroke seat from the Shenyang Sports University. Fantastic to see them right next to this great Netherlands quad. Rose de Jong, Tessa Dulmans, Lali Yusufu and Bente Paulis in the stroke seats. One in Lucerne. Chinese didn't get a medal back then. So here's the Romanians, Emanuela Ciatu in the bows, Adriana Morisan, Christina Druga and Patricia Sires in the stroke seat. The Canadian quad, Colin Zeeman with that peak cap on is the name, the standout name there, the former single sculler, Elisa Bollinger, Grace van den Broek and Shannon Kennedy in the bow seat. The Italians had a good regatta, but they're up against it on this side of the course. Valentina Isepi, Alessandro Montesano, Lara Marino, Stefania Gobbi in the stroke seats. Three of the crew that finished fourth in Tokyo. And the French, you can see the conditions over there for the French. Audrey Fertre, Hélène Lefebvre, Violine Aeronaut and Jeanne Roche in the stroke seat for the French crew. And is it 7 to qualify in this?
Yeah, 7 to qualify in the women's quad for the Paris Olympics, 3 to qualify here for the A final. And I've got to tell you, I don't know what you think, Martin, I wouldn't want to be sitting on the start in a quad right now. It's really windy. There's now white caps. The waves are blowing in the middle of the course. You think, gosh, you've got to be so clean and tidy with your blade work in these really tough conditions.
And thanks to Zoe de Toledo, who's just texted in, the former British Cox, watching this with her new baby. And apparently we've sent her new baby to sleep, she says.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not.
I don't know. We haven't sent Zoe to sleep, so there's hope yet.
Well, you can see that strong wind as the crews hold those first strokes deep and buried. You don't want to get caught getting too short too early, banging your blades on your knees as you try and get your hands out clean and clear in front of the bodies. Yeah, look at that. I mean, the Dutch crew, we're used to seeing them looking so relaxed, so calm, but they're needing to really focus and concentrate on clean blade work in this bumpy, bumpy water.
These conditions are brutal, aren't they? Headwind conditions, white horses at the start. It might get a little flatter down towards the finish, but the Netherlands are leading out the Chinese. And that is good news for the Dutch team. Many have tipped this Dutch quad after the Lucerne win for gold medal here. The job is to finish in the first three. In third place, it is the Canadians. Marvellous start from them, anchored by Carling Zeeman, as we've said, in the stroke seat. Just behind them, the Romanians, not beyond the realms of possibility that Canada could qualify from that lane 4, Greg.
Yeah, no, certainly we've seen crews qualify from lane 4, and the Canadians here will be looking to do that. So I think there's a big story as to who qualifies, of course. Also a big story we're seeing playing out is this race between China and the Netherlands, because China were the all-conquering. They'd won everything through from the Tokyo Olympics, but then in Lucerne, the Netherlands beat them, turned around that result, and the Netherlands beat China. So here we've got probably the two form crews side by side. The Netherlands, if anything, have slightly worse conditions, and yet they're leading by nearly a boat length.
Two Olympians, Rose de Jong and Lala Yusufu, in the double and the quad from Tokyo Olympics, lead this race through the 1,000. The Olympic champions and the world champions from China in second place. Canada still in third place, just ahead of the Romanians, Italy and France on this near side.
So just think how big this could be. Let's just say the weather conditions were the same on the day of the final. The crew who wins this out of the Netherlands and China will get to be in lanes 1 and 2. The crew that comes second could be out in lanes 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So winning today, let's say for the Netherlands, could put them in lane 1 and leave the Chinese in lane 4. And if the conditions were the same, you'd think that's job done.
Clear water with 650 metres to go with the crew from the Netherlands, and they don't look sharp. They do look together. But compared to this Netherlands crew, Romania just moving through the Canadians to take that third qualifying place. And again, we've talked about this 80-20 Netherlands training program that their physiologists put them through, where they do so much low-intensity, long-distance work, just a little bit of intense work through the weeks. They have to train rigidly and stick to the pulses, but it seems to be doing the job for the Netherlands team.
Yeah, Martin, explain more of that 80-20 training. I mean, I think we should look at the race here in front of us. The Netherlands doing a great job here. They've got that bit of clear water. They'll be desperate to kind of stay clean and clear of these waves. Looking at China now, down at 31 strokes a minute, you wonder how well they're handling the conditions. It's doing all right for them. They kept that little bit of overlap, maybe just a bit of clear water with the Netherlands.
Yeah, they're closing maybe a little bit up on the Netherlands with that fast start, but the Dutch rowers have built up their endurance so much by doing that low-intensity work. They're not allowed to push themselves in that 80% of training they do at that low intensity. And thank you for the coffee from John Boltby, former World Rowing Executive Secretary. And the Chinese Olympic champions, we're looking at the stroke woman, Shui Sha-tong, there at the back of the boat, but the Netherlands out in front, one of the hot tips for gold medal. And Tessa Dulmans, the 26-year-old from the Laha Club in Delft, as is Lala Yousafzai, civil engineer in the three-seat. Bente Paulis, of course, the sister of Ilse, Olympic champion in Rio in the lightweight women's double sculls. And I'm sure Ilse might be here, or maybe she's watching on TV. There's Bente in the stroke seats, doing a fantastic job, isn't she? If I'm right, I think that Ilse Paulis might be involved in a Dutch TV version of Survivor right now. Ooh, that she should be on TV, being a star of a TV program there. But as it is, the story I think here is that the Chinese are just hanging on to the Dutch right now. And despite rating 4 strokes lower, they're only at 32. The Dutch, I think it's so important for them to win this semi-final that they really want to keep the Chinese behind them. And for them, they'll be really hoping the Chinese don't come back. I guess the other story, Romania, holding their position in third. And for Canada, I've got to tell you, if you're watching from Canada, the gap's now out to 11 metres, so a lot to do. Yeah, we're coming up to the last quarter as we welcome Sarah Cook back to commentary. What have you made of this quad race, Sarah?
Yeah, I mean, how good is Dutch quadruple sculling? We're used to seeing it in the men and the women, and they just, it doesn't even look like bumpy water out there that they're rowing on. They look absolutely incredible and getting the job done. Of course, over this Chinese incredible crew from China, Olympic champions. They were the first Chinese crew to win at Henley Regatta last year in its history, but showing that there is a chink in their armour this season, and the Dutch making pretty easy work of them. And it's great for their young coach, Frick Roberts, as the Chinese do try and come back in the picture. I think the Dutch have got enough to hold them. I'm looking to my right, I can just see the crews coming into view. Well, the crews are just coming into view. We're not used to seeing Chinese crews really sprint in the last 500. They'll need to find something today if they're going to get through the Netherlands. The Netherlands look like they've kept it calm, but let's remember they were out to clear water. There's no longer clear water. The Chinese have got a good, solid overlap coming into this last 250. I think this is massive in terms of where the gold medal might go here in this event. The Netherlands really do want to hang on to that position. China pressing them hard right now. Yeah, they are pressing them hard. It's the race for the best lane in the finals. I think conditions are going to improve as we go towards the finals. So maybe there's hope left for the Chinese if they do finish in second and get that lane 3-4 in the final place. In third, it's Romania, Chatu Monosano, Druga and Sires. But the Netherlands, Sarah. I think this is the best I've seen the Chinese crew look all season. They've really struggled this season. They didn't look great in Lucerne, but I think they're showing a bit of form here. They are pressing the Dutch, but the Dutch look pretty relaxed about it. There's a huge gap back to third, so there's no doubt about the qualification. They'll take the win with China coming in just in second. And we're waiting for Romania, who will take that third qualifying position into the A final. Yeah. Not seen any hands immediately go up. Romania weren't sure if they crossed the finish line there. They were so much in the boat. Canada finished in 4th place. It is going to be the French in 5th and the Italians in 6th. You can see them cross the line there. Statement race, Greg.
Yeah, statement race, big smiles. I think the Dutch know what that means for them as we see them celebrating their big thumbs up. There was a big challenge from the Chinese, but they were the survivors. They held on to that first place, and you could see the big hugs. Let's hope the conditions do improve. We do get really fair racing later on. I was impressed actually with the way the Chinese came back. They sat at 31 in the middle. They brought it up to 37 and closed their gap. But I can't help thinking the Netherlands were in control pretty much the whole way.
Yeah, there we see confirmation. Slow time, isn't it? But you'd expect that in these conditions. 7:04.
That is a long quad race. 7:04.